3 years ago, as an unknown actor, I took on a romance drama. My co-star was Sebastian, who came in with financial backing. He played a possessive doctor, and I portrayed a married straight man. People from Sebastian's background often carry an air of quiet ease, as if they've already experienced everything they desire. He was especially drawn to characters who suffered through unrequited feelings and emotional turmoil. During the 6-month filming period, we spent a lot of time together. In the story, the doctor had strong feelings for the married man. But outside of filming, I slowly started developing feelings for him. Sebastian, however, only saw me as a friend. When Sebastian found out I was deeply in debt and living in a rundown neighborhood, he kindly offered for me to move into his spacious riverside apartment. After the drama finished, we should go our separate ways. He'd go back to being a wealthy young man, and I'd keep working odd jobs around town. But I was too greedy. I was afraid we'd never cross paths again, so I agreed. 2 weeks after moving in, Sebastian had only come by once. That's when I finally understood. It was just a casual favor he gave to a friend. He never intended to live with me, so I came up with a simple idea. I practiced cooking hard and paid attention to his daily preferences, making sure he always felt comfortable whenever he came over. Sebastian started visiting more and more often. When he was under the influence, he liked drinking the recovery soup I made and would lean on me affectionately. "Martin, you're nothing like my bunch of rotten brothers." That was the most out-of-bounds moment. He wrapped his arms around me and called me his wife. I held on to him tightly at that moment. It seems like it's not just me who needs to cut back. Once I'm clear-headed, I could only carefully play the role of his good friend. There was a time when I had foolish hopes, thinking I might be special to him. He took me to meet his close childhood friends. Their reactions were exaggerated and over the top. "Whoa, so you're the one Sebastian's been keeping hidden, wow. You really are handsome. No wonder you wouldn't come out no matter how many times we called. Were you afraid someone would steal him away?" I nervously glanced at Sebastian. "Stay out of this." Sebastian stepped in front of me. "Don't tease him, he's really shy." During the game, Sebastian took a few drinks on my behalf. In the dim light, I couldn't help but stare at his strong profile. My chest felt warm and fluttering. Maybe Sebastian might actually have some feelings for me? Truth or dare time? Sebastian lost and picked truth. "I heard the drama you two filmed had really bold scenes. Did you two actually develop feelings for each other during filming?" My heart sank. Sebastian gave the guy a light kick. "Don't be gross. I'm straight. And so is he. No wonder you liked a tall model with long legs the other day. Were you thinking of chasing after her? I could introduce you to someone." I felt like I'd been plunged into icy cold water, my mind buzzing with noise. Back in the car, Sebastian noticed I was upset and gently cupped my face, giving it a light pinch. "Don't be mad. I just accidentally tapped it while scrolling." I forced a calm smile. "I'm not upset. I like tall people too." Sebastian was perfect proportion. The next moment, Sebastian's expression turned serious. "Martin, are you thinking about getting into a relationship?" I nodded. The director did suggest that we both find a girlfriend and start dating after wrapping up the shoot. Sebastian gave a half smile, saying, "But you haven't even paid off your debts. Who would want to date you?" His face was truly striking. I felt like someone utterly hopeless, unable to break free from a deep dependency. "Who are you planning to trouble now? Martin? Nora? I remember your first love was someone like her, calm and mature. Nora played my wife in the movie. We've stayed in touch ever since filming ended, and she's occasionally introduced me to job opportunities. I didn't understand why it mattered. What did I have to do with her? She's so kind and wonderful." I don't deserve someone like that. Sebastian's expression remained unreadable. I had a dream. I dreamed we finished our intimate scene, curled up together in a hotel during a rainy day, watching TV. Even though I don't have much experience acting, I know this is what people call on-set couple dynamics. Once we're off-set, it's supposed to end completely. I woke up startled, and outside the window, a bright moon hung high in the sky. Couldn't fall back asleep no matter what, so I decided to scroll through my phone. A celebrity news alert popped up on his phone. Sebastian was spotted hosting a yacht gathering with a woman. His brother sure moves fast already introduced him to someone this quickly. Fans in the comments were clarifying it was just a normal outing between friends. Everyone in the industry knows Sebastian has always been bold and independent, but he's also kept his personal life clear of drama. I opened WeChat, and Sebastian had just posted a new update on his timeline. I have nothing to do with her, just a magazine shoot. It's unclear who he was trying to convince. We met again. It was my birthday. I had prepared a full table of dishes. Sebastian brought over a cake. It was my favorite blue, with my name written in a slightly crooked way on top. Sebastian's gaze flickered. The staff member is new. Their fundamentals aren't strong. But don't worry. The taste was good. Everything used was top quality. I smiled widely. Thank you. I really like it. Sebastian smiled too and urged me to make a wish. I didn't close my eyes, but instead kept looking at Sebastian. In my mind, I silently wished, if we never meet again, then may you have good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Sebastian's dark eyes held me. There was a small hitch with your birthday gift. It'll be delivered another time. Yeah. I couldn't bear it anymore and looked away. That night, Sebastian stayed over. I heard him get up in the middle of the night. He had a habit, when he couldn't sleep, he'd light a cigar. In my drowsy thoughts, I wondered, could someone like Sebastian ever have worries too? A few seconds later, I sat up straight. I remembered that during the cleaning earlier that day, I'd gotten some books wet. I left them on the balcony to dry and forgot to bring them in. My face went pale, and I rushed barefoot to the balcony. Sebastian had an unlit cigar in his mouth and was holding my diary. The notebook was filled with the story of my quiet feelings for you. I was overwhelmed by fear. I felt frozen in place. My throat so tight I couldn't make a sound. Sebastian tossed the diary at my feet. Explain yourself? I looked up, forcing a weak smile. What's there to explain? Should I admit I'm someone unworthy? I've been staying by your side all this time, pretending we're close friends, yet harbored inappropriate feelings toward you all along? Sebastian's expression remained stern. Debt-ridden and still caught up in romantic fantasies. I curled my toes and bent over awkwardly to pick up the diary. The diary didn't mention Sebastian's name, but was filled with my deep feelings for someone I had a secret crush on. All the hidden emotions were suddenly laid bare under the open sky. I'm sorry. The worst thing I feared had finally come true. I saw a flicker of distaste in Sebastian's eyes. His face darkened completely. Did anyone else agree? You just call me husband? Isn't that embarrassing? I froze in place. My lips moved weakly, repeating sorry over and over. Sebastian slammed the door shut and left. My feet were numb and painfully red from the cold. I felt a mix of emotions inside. Guilt was by far the strongest feeling. I didn't have the courage to stay any longer, so I packed my things and left that night. Finally, I sent Sebastian a bill, planning to pay him back in installments. During the year after moving out, I was still struggling to find my footing, taking on any job I could get. Sebastian was becoming more and more famous, and I kept seeing his posters during my hurried commutes on buses and subways. Those strange feelings I once had about Sebastian felt distant and foreign now. I managed to save enough for a down payment and bought back my mom's old house. She passed away from cancer, and even though I was buried under debt, couldn't save her. On her final day, she gripped my hand and said, "I'm afraid no one will love you after I'm gone. Promise me you'll find someone who truly cares for you." Not long after, I joined a film set. I found myself drawn to the script's character, a doctor who had silently loved one man for 10 years. The kind of intense, persistent attachment that others would avoid. That was exactly what I needed at the time. Over time, I started developing feelings for Sebastian, the man playing the doctor. He treated me with so much kindness. I'd never truly known what love felt like before, so I mistakenly believed I had finally found it. I stepped out of the subway station. A chill swept through me. Someone exclaimed, "It's snowing." Snowflakes landed on my eyelashes. Just then, Sebastian's luxury car passed by me. I caught a glimpse of his profile, perfect and distant. An ordinary person's good fortune is like the first snowfall of early winter. It looked as though it had been falling for days, held back all along out of reluctance to clear it. In reality, it was just a thin layer, gone after a few moments of effort. So I never expected that the drama we filmed together would become a huge hit. My follower count across all platforms skyrocketed, with the biggest portion being fans of my pairing with Sebastian. Fans are all discussing whether me and Sebastian are really a couple. If it weren't for my failed crush, I might have believed it myself. The company called me in. They spent a lot of money hiring a stylist to help shape my image. My agent Stella said there's a drama promotion livestream, and Sebastian has already agreed to join. I was a bit surprised. He's straight, yet he actually agreed to pretend we're together for publicity. Stella spoke seriously. "Since we'll be seeing each other around the industry, you should go apologize to him tonight." Back then, things got really awkward. It's all my fault for being too hopeful. I opened the chat window. The conversation had been stuck at messages from a year ago. He was furious and told me to move out right away. I politely replied that I couldn't afford the rent. Now I had no choice but to face old memories and past situations. I carefully typed out a polite message. "Sebastian, thanks for agreeing to the promotional event. I'll make sure to cooperate fully when the time comes." To avoid misunderstandings, I added, "I know you don't like me, and I promise I won't come near you unless it's absolutely necessary for work." As expected, Sebastian didn't reply. The day of the live stream, dressing room, Nora pinched my cheek and said, "How can you still look so fresh and untouched by the entertainment world? I've never really been part of that scene. You're just too adorable. Let me give you a little kiss." She always loved to tease. I turned my head away and noticed Sebastian walking in. His expressionless face carried a strong presence. My already nervous heart skipped a beat. Our outfits were the same style but different colors, black and white. The vibe was way too obvious. I gave a nervous greeting. "Sebastian, it's been a while." Sebastian grabbed my arm and pulled me into the wardrobe room. "Sebastian, you're wearing matching outfits with me while still exchanging glances with your wife? Nora really is my co-star in the show. But that sounds kind of off somehow. Sorry, I didn't expect to run into you in the same outfit. I'll change right away." Sebastian's expression was unreadable. "Martin, you choose. Do you want to play up the romantic chemistry with Nora? Or with me?" The show is officially listed as starring 3 main actors. But it's a gay romance drama. If I go along with a romantic pairing between me and Nora, I'm done for. I stammered, "Let's team up as a couple." Sebastian gave a slight nod, pleased. "There are plenty of people who want to build chemistry with me. What kind of commitment do you have?" I paused, taken aback. "You're right. Going along with Sebastian on this fake relationship is really me taking advantage. I quickly reaffirmed, "Whatever you say, I'll do it. I'll make sure to cooperate fully." "Then that's settled," Sebastian said, clearly satisfied. "Martin, I'm not in the right mindset for this fake relationship right now. Can you help me get into it?" I instinctively stepped back. "Are you running again? Wasn't Sebastian against same-sex relationships?" I still remember the look of disgust on his face when he saw my love notes. It felt like I was nothing more than a beggar on the street, unworthy of even dreaming about him. I raised my voice to make it clear, "Please keep your distance. We're not that close yet. Just a rehearsal for a fake couple, like actors on set pretending to be partners." Sebastian leaned in with a smile. "We've played pretend couples before, haven't we?" I pushed him away, my chest aching with unease as I tried to stay calm. I was just too caught up back then. Now I've come to my senses. I'm Martin and you're just Sebastian. Besides, that's not how you actually do it. Sebastian leaned against the wall and lit a cigarette. "Martin, she got married last month." "What?" I didn't quite understand what Sebastian meant. "Have the two of you finished? Teachers. The staff were calling out to us." I never expected Lemon Entertainment's live stream to be this bold. The edited clip from Misaligned showed the doctor and the straight man sharing an intense moment. After the show became popular, I avoided watching it completely to stay clear of any temptation. Facing these scenes now, I couldn't help but feel strangely like I'd been part of something I shouldn't have. Playback ended, and the host asked, "What do you think of Martin playing the straight man?" Sebastian replied, "I think he's really brave." He knew the doctor had improper intentions toward him, yet he still went to his house every day. "Martin, what do you say, is he bold or not? Was there an interactive segment now? He always loves teasing people." I forced myself to answer, "Yes." I couldn't even look at him. Is this a fake couple setup? Game time. The three of us, me, Sebastian, and Nora, took part in a familiarity challenge game. It wasn't surprising at all. We've lived together for 2 years, and I know Sebastian almost as well as he knows me. The live stream went viral and hit several trending topics. Couple fans came up with a new chant, fighting over each other. "No wonder Sebastian has a wife." Sebastian reserved a private dining restaurant. 2 agents discussed their next collaboration. Sebastian ordered only dishes I love, all spicy ones. My stomach was growling from hunger, but I quietly said, "I don't want to eat, and I don't want us to be paired up as a couple." Stella gave me a light slap on the back and said, "Just be confident. Don't act all shy." "I'm not being petty. I just want to talk with Sebastian." As soon as the agents left, "Sebastian, why don't you want to do a pairing?" I looked at him quietly. "Pairing up means kissing, and I don't want to kiss you." Sebastian looked shocked. "Just because of that? All right then." Sebastian frowned reluctantly, as if making a big sacrifice. "Fine, only when you agree will I do it." I didn't expect him to be this easy to convince. My heart ached. What if we can't untangle it later? As everyone knows, when the difference in status between a pair is too great, the one who gains popularity is usually at a disadvantage. What if I end up using up all your opportunities and attention? Sebastian's eyes lit up as he asked slowly, "Well, why don't you just give it a try and see for yourself?" On the way, I got so tired I fell asleep. Someone gently rubbed my full stomach with warm hands. He spoke in a soft voice. "I'm willing to be your stepping stone, so you can rise higher." Thanks to Sebastian, my workload kept increasing. The Duo magazine shoot arrived as planned. Surrounding me were plenty of staff members, and the moment I touched Sebastian, I felt uneasy. One staff member whispered quietly, "Martin doesn't have a problem with guys, does he?" Sebastian smiled in a teasing way. "How about a kiss? That might calm your nerves." Faced with such an unexpected suggestion from someone who wasn't even interested, I firmly said no. I chose to drink quickly to get into a dazed state. My legs went weak, and I leaned my head onto Sebastian's shoulder. After the shoot, the alcohol kicked in fully, and I couldn't stand steady anymore. For a moment, I was back to the time we were filming Misaligned. I leaned toward the person beside me and pouted. "Sebastian, I feel so dizzy. Can you carry me home?" He gently replied, "All right, I'll take you home." The staff member murmured, "So he's not afraid of guys after all." They were discussing a movie project. The other side specifically asked me to attend the meeting. As the conversation went on, the investor's gaze seemed fixed on my face. Stella noticed something off, but to secure the opportunity, she kept a composed smile. The investor spoke with hidden meaning. "There's no shortage of fresh and attractive faces in the industry. What's rare is someone who listens. Good behavior gets rewards." Stella couldn't help rolling her eyes, seeing that we kept playing dumb and wouldn't give in, not even under pressure. He sneered, "I'll say it plainly. Just spend one night with me, and the male lead role is guaranteed for Martin." Stella finally stood up abruptly. "Get lost. You don't even have the decency to look in a mirror, pretending to be someone else's patron. You're not worthy of polishing my child's shoes." Her frustration brought out her strong northeastern accent. The investor shouted in anger, "Martin, think carefully. In this industry, you can't rise without connections." I was furious and about to fire back. The door burst open a second later. It was Sebastian and his brother. Sebastian had a dark expression and landed a punch right away. The arrogant investor was left looking severely injured. I was worried the situation might escalate, so I stepped in. "Sebastian, he didn't harm me. Enough is enough." His brother held me back. "Let him let off some steam. He just got his wife back after a year away, and someone's been eyeing her. Wouldn't you be frustrated?" I was completely confused. "Who is his wife?" I clarified, "I'm just Sebastian's roommate." His expression turned strange. "Roommate? Yeah. Sebastian's a straight man. He's just kind-hearted. That's all." After releasing his anger, Sebastian took out a handkerchief and wiped the sweat from his forehead before tossing it casually onto the man's face. "I'm Martin's support system. Dare to go after him again?" Sebastian took me away. His brother was stunned. Who would have thought Sebastian could ever be associated with kindness? This made headlines online. The public reaction was negative, with netizens criticizing Sebastian for having a violent nature. Someone dug up that I was present at the scene, and the rumors spread further out of control. At that moment, Sebastian liked a fan-made illustration. It instantly exploded onto the trending topics. No one was talking about me being targeted anymore. Everyone just said Sebastian had lost his mind. I rushed straight to his door. "Did you accidentally like it? You should clarify this right away." Sebastian opened the image. "Don't you think this drawing is really good?" "Actually, I need to ask you something. Did you tell Lucas I'm straight? Isn't that true?" Sebastian let out a bitter laugh. "After everything I've done for you, how can you still think I'm straight?" My heart tightened, as if squeezed into a crumpled ball. A bad feeling suddenly came over me. Sebastian's gaze was intense. He had a way of looking at people with deep sincerity. "Martin, isn't it obvious by now?" "Sebastian, please don't say any more." When I understood the meaning behind his words, my face paled and a cold numbness spread through me. All I could think was how absurd and unbelievable it felt. Sebastian started to speak. "Martin, Stop saying it." I shouted and pushed Sebastian hard, then rushed out the door. The first month after moving out from Sebastian's place, I regretted it. Overwhelming longing overwhelmed me, and I struggled with sleepless nights, unease and anxiety. How could someone so deeply attached manage to break free so easily? At my most vulnerable, I even thought about asking Sebastian to let me stay as his friend. Whether it was luck or misfortune, that day, I unexpectedly ran into Sebastian after work. He was wearing casual clothes, with a baseball cap pulled low over his face. No one recognized him as the rising star in high demand. Except for me. Sebastian made his way through the crowd toward the seaside beach. I followed behind, wanting to call out his name several times, but each time I stayed silent from hesitation. The sunset painted a striking silhouette of him against the sky. He looked noticeably thinner. I kept encouraging myself, finally taking a step forward. Just at that moment, a woman stepped out with a sweet smile, gently taking Sebastian's arm. That's when I noticed Sebastian was holding a rose in his arms. It was meant for the woman. The two began walking toward my direction. I quickly ducked behind the tree, my lips cracked and dry from lack of moisture. My sweaty back chilled instantly in the sea breeze, sending a sharp shiver through my bones. They were quite a striking pair. Handsome man and beautiful woman. Easy on the eyes. The distance was too close. I immediately recognized the woman. It was none other than the female model who had been linked to Sebastian in past rumors. That day, I'd finally come to understand that Sebastian was indeed straight. But now, Sebastian is suddenly claiming he's not straight. What kind of joke is this? I sat by my mother's grave for an hour. Afterward, I found Stella and said, "I want to disconnect from Sebastian. I don't want to keep pretending we're a couple anymore." I expected an argument in return. But after a brief silence, Stella agreed. She gently touched my swollen eyes and said, "Did Sebastian hurt you?" I shook my head. Sebastian's a good person. I just needed a break. Life was truly ironic. When I wanted something, I couldn't have it. But when I let go, it suddenly came my way. Time passed, and what once felt like a surprise turned into unease. In truth, ending the pairing wasn't hard at all. Sebastian and I never pushed it too far, we mostly just interacted online. When fans noticed we weren't appearing together anymore or mentioning each other, they naturally understood. I stopped replying to Sebastian's messages altogether. Sometimes late at night, I'd pull back the curtain and see Sebastian's car parked downstairs. He kept lighting one cigarette after another. I wanted to tell him to cut back, but I knew I had no right. I just shut the curtain firmly. Soon, I joined the filming team. A reporter asked me if I knew Sebastian's recent work schedule. I honestly said, "Sorry, I'm not really up to date on his situation." Nora joined the neighboring production team and ended up booking the same hotel as me. She was newly married, and her husband often came by to visit. Whenever that happened, she'd tease me, "Why hasn't Sebastian come to see you? Is something wrong between the two of you? Are you having a little argument?" "Nora, I'm not in that kind of relationship with Sebastian." Nora gave me a look full of curiosity, saying, "Don't think you can hide it from me. I noticed something was off between the two of you back when we were filming Wrong Place. Tell me you weren't spending every night together, just chatting under the covers like that." I felt my face burn with embarrassment and didn't know how to respond. Nora popped a few seeds into her mouth. "Let's have a real talk. I've totally gotten into the idea of you two being a couple lately." I hesitated, unsure of how to respond. I really wanted to say not to get so into it, we're already over. At that moment, my phone started flashing with a flood of messages. I pulled it out and saw Sebastian publicly mentioning me online. "You left behind a box when you moved. Remember to come get it." Public reaction went wild. Sebastian had been holding back this whole time, and sure enough, he finally made a big move. To prevent the situation from escalating further, I quickly replied, "I don't want it anymore. Just throw it away." Moments later, Sebastian's message popped up, "Come down. I'm waiting downstairs." I prepared myself carefully and pulled Nora along as cover before heading out to meet him. I was terrified of being even a second too late, just in case he'd pull off some kind of stunt again. Not far away, Sebastian stood leaning against the bus stop like a peacock showing off its feathers. I was about to tell him to find a different spot to talk. Then I heard Sebastian's voice tremble as he asked, despondent and hurt, "Is this why you pretended not to know me? Just so you could cut ties with me? Martin, are you still hung up on her?" Nora stared in disbelief, pointing at herself. "Wait, you mean Martin's been holding on to me?" I was completely thrown off for 3 seconds. "Stop. Me and Nora are totally innocent. She's married, so don't make up stuff like that." Sebastian clenched his teeth, bitter and resentful. "Of course it's her, the one you've been pining for all this time. Even after she's married, you still can't let go. What on earth is going on here? If anyone caught us like this, all 3 of us would be in serious trouble." I quickly pushed Sebastian into the car. Fuming, I snapped, "When did I ever like Nora? You know perfectly well who I really like." Sebastian's eyes were glistening, fixed on me with unwavering intensity. He just wouldn't budge, letting out a dry laugh. "Don't try to fool me. I've read your hidden thoughts, and you kept calling her my wife all the time. Who else could it be? So Sebastian always thought I had a crush on Nora? Martin, what's so different about me? She can't even give you a proper place in her life." "Sebastian," I cut him off and said straight out, "the person I like is you. My secret diary was about you too." Sebastian slowly raised a confused expression. "Huh. Then, why did you call me wife?" I said, embarrassed and flustered. "Is it wrong for a guy to call the person he likes wife?" Sebastian's eyes lit up as he leaned in and said, "No problem at all. No problem at all. So you like me?" I said calmly, "That was in the past." Sebastian didn't hesitate, pulling me into a tight embrace with sudden energy. "Martin, even though I'm and stronger than you, I'd still be happy to be your partner." I lit a cigarette and decided to finally clear things up. "Sebastian, last December by the seaside, I actually saw you with another woman myself. Just once, and you caught me? Maybe it was fate. After all." I let out a bitter laugh. "That's why I don't believe you're truly interested in men." Sebastian looked unusually shaken. "It's true. I did start dating someone after you moved away. At the time, I thought I could forget about you by being with her, but it was just fooling myself. It didn't last 3 days. After they broke up, he gave the model a high-profile fashion show opportunity as compensation. The model got a valuable chance for free and quickly agreed to end things. I thought you were into Nora, so I said some harsh words in anger, but I never meant to push you away. It wasn't until Mismatch became a huge hit. When Sebastian heard that Nora had gotten married, he thought it was his chance. The cigarette burned down completely. I opened the car door and stepped out. "Sebastian, can we just end it here?" The words had barely left my lips. A bright flash of light cut through the darkness. Before I could see anything, Sebastian lunged at me and pulled me into the greenery. The driver was fatigued and lost control. I came out unharmed, but Sebastian suffered a broken bone. "Private hospital," He lay in the hospital bed, with a string of white jade beads resting by his pillow. With a relieved expression, "Thank goodness your birthday gift didn't get damaged. I took it to a master for blessing back then, and I just never got around to giving it to you." The beads gave off a soft, gentle glow. Perhaps it was this very set of jade Buddha beads that kept both of us safe. I served up the bone soup I had cooked myself and asked him to drink it. Sebastian lowered his eyes, looking utterly pitiful. "I didn't mean to take advantage of your kindness. There's no need for you to stay by my side." I pretended to stand up. "All right then. I'll be going." My sleeve was tugged gently. Sebastian whispered, "Are you really leaving? Are you truly willing to walk away from me? The one who owes you his life?" Seeing the wounds on his body, I instantly softened. After he had fully recovered, I went back to the temple to receive a new set of Buddha beads. I met with the abbot. He said my face seemed familiar to him. I just remembered last year, a man came here seeking a jade Buddha bead, also troubled by love, just like you. My mood was mixed. I asked, "Do you have any advice?" The abbot smiled with a calm expression and said, "All things in the world come into being through connection and harmony, and fade away when those connections dissolve." I tried hard to understand. "So you're saying I should learn to let go, accept that feelings are fleeting?" The abbot shook his head. "Not quite. What I mean is talk things through when needed, part ways when it's time, and don't be afraid to act. The master truly knows the way." I suddenly saw clarity in what he said. I stopped getting caught up in tangled, messy emotions. Sebastian finally became my boyfriend. After we started dating, Sebastian felt insecure. I'm younger than him, and he worries every day that he won't be able to keep me as he grows older. I comforted him. "We're only 3 years apart, not 30. He voluntarily quit smoking and drinking, working hard on his fitness. Another year passed. I took Sebastian to meet my mother. Sebastian solemnly knelt before the tombstone and called out, "Mom." On the way back, Sebastian suddenly said, "When we were filming Misaligned, I noticed you had an intense fixation on the doctor character I played. First, I thought you were just deeply immersed in your role. At that time, I just wanted someone to love me." After a long pause, I kissed Sebastian. "Is it still bitter now?" Sebastian brushed his nose against mine. "Now it's incredibly sweet.